Super Rugby folks, the Drua have beaten the Crusaders in what was probably my favourite Super Rugby game for quite some time. Goodness gracious me, 25-24. This game had so many things that I love watching about rugby. It had a great crowd over in Fiji. It had a game which kind of had lead changes. It had, just tit for tat action, and it goes down to the wire with the last kick of the game, the one that finishes thing off. Apologies, I don't have a Fijian Drua jersey yet. It's on my list. But man, the Drua were good today. Bloody hell. Admittedly, the Crusaders, man, they sent a team over to Fiji without some of their big guns, but still, the Crusaders are a team that usually has the depth. This is one week where, they couldn't get it done, which for them is kind of uncharacteristic because they're such a champion side. We'll go through some of the key events and stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts. I'm just chuffed. I had to watch the game a little bit late. Gazza, my old man's in hospital at the moment. He's been having a little trouble with his ticker. He's got to go get a pacemaker next week. So wishing you all the best, Dad. Hopefully you get well soon. Maybe a good thing you didn't watch this game if your ticker is not right, because this game was edge of your seat. My heart was pounding at the end of the game, even though I watched it slightly delayed. I didn't know the result, and I'm bloody glad I didn't, because it was really, really edge of your seat. Drua didn't start that well, man. The Drua, there were some errors. They knocked it on. There was a lot of knock-ons in the game, to be fair. They were getting pinged at scrum time. Teti Tela missed a pretty bloody easy penalty. So it was not the start that Drua would have liked. And then the Crusaders, when they get a chance down the other end, they power over through McDonald, the hooker. It's the first of several maul tries for them. So 5 points to nil to the Crusaders. Sadly for the Crusaders, though, some of the guys they did take over there, like David Havili, there was a couple of other guys who went off pretty early, injured. So not ideal for them, seeing as they've, as I said, already taken a team missing a few kind of big guns. And the Crusaders, they bombed another couple of chances as well. Like the Crusaders could have had more points. Whitelock knocked it over the line. There was one cross kick that Braden Ennor put through that was just a bit too big. That guy Spring, I think, hurt himself a little bit. Now, I think he came back on, though. But it didn't matter too much because they managed to extend their lead, the Crusaders. 22nd minute, another maul try, 12 points to nil. And, the Drua replied with like a few kind of pick and goes, which was a little bit uncharacteristic for them. They did have a real period of pressure on the Crusaders, but they weren't looking like they were going to score. Crusaders hold them out. So it's a story of kind of Crusaders taking their points. The Drua, not so much. But that all changes on the half an hour mark when that man, Yosefa Musi, he scores a wonder try, man. Like, it's a bit of loose ball from the Crusaders after a line out. And there's a team you don't want to give any loose ball opportunities to. It's the Fijian Drua, man. Oh, my goodness. A one-handed pickup after that line out ball. And he is just gone. Nobody touches him. He's gone. He scores the try. Massive distance. Just real wheels, man. And the skills to pick that thing up. Missed conversion. The goal kicking both ways was not great. But it's 5 points to 12 at this point, with the Drua kind of keeping in touch with that score. And then it looked like there was going to be another Drua try. And the Crusaders were kind of making like a couple of errors. Like Fihaki at one point kind of knocked it on into touch. The Crusaders conceded a penalty from the resulting line out. Then Lomani, when they had that line out, did a wee quick tap, and the Drua guys wanted to keep, they wanted to keep things moving. They didn't want to muck about with any set piece. They didn't need to. Lomani had some gas about him, but his pass from the deck to Vota looked like another wonder try. But the veteran Willie Hines, man, with the slap to knock the ball out of Vota's hands means it was a real try saver. So, it's still 12 points to 5 at halftime. The Crusaders have edged the possession 51-49, and they've had more territory 56-44. Second half, the Drua, I thought they'd kind of bombed their first chance of the second half. They knocked it on after a maul. Musi, again, he needed to kind of pass it a little bit earlier. He kind of did like a little dummy. Ended up losing the ball forward. The backs were starting to look dangerous, but I thought, damn, man, this is a chance. Like, the Crusaders won't give you that many chances. You need to take your chances, especially at home. You need to get the crowd back into it, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because about a minute later, from the clearance kick, the Drua just ran it right back at them, man. Some great carries, offloads. Just the final one from Drua Sese, man, he's elusive. He was like bobbing and weaving, more like a boxer's skills to get avoid the tackle. But either way, whatever it did, it worked, man. So it's 12 points to 12. The crowd, it's not the loudest they'll get, but the crowd are getting pretty loud at this point. Like the crowd's been great all game, but the fact they went 12 points down kind of toned it down a little bit. But the crowd just continued to build and build. Like it just makes the match so much more enjoyable to watch, doesn't it? It gets worse for the Crusaders. Like Fergus Burke loses the ball in the sun in his eyes. He knocks it on. The momentum's all with the Drua. Fans going nuts. They concede a scrum penalty though, and it kind of takes a little bit away from the momentum of the crowd as they're going nuts. Oh, just quiets down a little bit, and then the Crusaders have a bit of bad luck. I mentioned they bombed a couple of tries earlier. Like there's one point where there's just nobody back for the Drua. The Crusaders spot the space. They kick it through. On another day, it could have been a 50-22 or at least a really good kick for field position, but it just keeps rolling and it goes dead. So it's kind of bad luck for the Crusaders. And then from that resulting scrum, the Drua end up getting a try. So it's kind of like a double whammy. Like from the scrum, they initially go left, and then Lamani with a great pass, he goes right to Tamani, who was out there on the wing. And suddenly the Drua are in front. They're in front, 12 points to 17. And then the Crusaders get pinged from the restart as well. So it looks like everything's going wrong for the Crusaders in that second half. Although they did get a line-out steal to just kind of don't write the Crusaders off. You can never write the Crusaders off. It was much needed from them. But I mean, how good was the next try? The one from Sal. I think that is was that the kind of peak crowd moment? I think it might have been, because like Salawa had a big old carry. He beats at least two defenders. He gets to Sal on the left wing, and the crowd just like explodes, man. They go absolutely berserk. Like suddenly, the Drua have gone from being 12 points down to leading this game by 10 points, 22-12. Yeah, man, I'm starting to believe the Drua can win this one. But can you write the Crusaders off? Never. Can the Crusaders punish it more time again? It's a soft penalty from the Drua, which gives the Crusaders great field position. There's 72 minutes on the clock. The Crusaders desperately need to score. This time the Drua actually managed to hold them all out, but they still managed to go through some phases. And Sever Reese managed to score in 74 minutes. So it's 22 points to 17. And then it's the Drua's turn to concede a penalty at the restart. So this, I wrote the note, like if a team is going to come back, it's the Crusaders. And giving them some soft penalties is really, really not what you want to be doing at this point of the game. The Crusaders get their maul going again, this time from kind of back in the, around the halfway line. They get it to Reese. He chips over the top. The Drua offside. So it's another penalty conceded. I'm starting to think the Crusaders are probably going to be able to do this. Here comes the Crusaders maul. It goes over. The replacement hooker, Moananu. First time I've seen him play, I think. He goes over for a try, and it's a sideline conversion in a game when the kicks haven't been that good, and wouldn't you know it gets nailed. So what a kick from Burke to put the Crusaders in front. So it seems like it's going to be heartbreak for the Drua, 24-12, but then there's a knock on from the Crusaders at the restart. Like all they needed to do was kind of secure it. There's less than a minute to play. One last chance from the Drua. A big scrum needed. They go through some phases, and wouldn't you know it, they get advantage. They even go for a drop goal, but it goes wide. But yeah, man, with the penalty pretty much in front, there's a chance for the Drua to win it. That man Valtini, on his debut in a game where the kicking has been atrocious, it's a normally pretty straightforward kick, but given the pressure of the Crusaders at home and you're on your debut, it's an easy one to shank. But he still nails it. What a win. What a win. Unbelievable stuff from the Drua, man. Like I loved that result. That was just phenomenal. Even if the Drua had lost, I still would have loved the game. Even if that had been my Blues over there in Fiji, I think I still would have loved that game. It was just so fun with the atmosphere, with the skills on display. I mean, admittedly, the scrums were pretty messy. There was a lot of resets, a lot of free kicks. There's a few too many knock-ons in those conditions. But overall, man, everything I have to say about this game is very positive stuff. Stats-wise, Second half, remember I mentioned the Crusaders edged the possession in territory first half. Second half, the Crusaders still edged the possession, but it's 65-35 for the territory in favour of the Drua. It's 8 clean breaks to 1, which shows you how deadly those Drua guys were. Run meters is 510 to 330 in favour of the Drua. So those guys played their hearts out, man. Mauls though, 1-8 in favour of the Crusaders. Mussy, the centre man, along with his try, 64 metres, 2 clean breaks, 4 defenders beaten. Sao has 93 metres. Tamani has 75 metres, a clean break, and 2 defenders. Sorry, yeah, 2 defenders beaten. Ikanaveri, the hooker, 12 from 14 tackles, so a good shift from him. Fihaki has 65 metres and 5 defenders beaten from the back for the Crusaders. Tony Havili has 21 out of 20 out of 21 tackles, which is a bit of a shift. But there you go, man. Probably my favourite game of Super Rugby in ages. I was looking at the fixtures after this game and I was like, please don't let the Blues have the Crusaders next. And wouldn't you know it, the Blues have got the Crusaders next. So I feel like the Blues could be in for some punishment from an angry Crusaders side next week. It's at Eden Park though, so we'll see. The Drua have got the Reds away. There you go, folks. Speaking of the Blues, I better go watch them. Their game's already started. I got distracted by this one, but I couldn't not sit here and talk to you guys about it because I'm buzzing. But you guys let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.